And now, Papa John's delivers. WrestleMania Kickoff.
Adjust your sails, adventure awaits. The pinnacle of sports entertainment is on the horizon, except this year, it's too big for just one night. Welcome, everyone, to your WrestleMania Kickoff show, Night 1. I'm Corey Graves from Friday Night SmackDown, and joining me all weekend long, my good friend, confidant, and hip-hop aficionado, Mr. Peter Rosenberg. Peter, happy WrestleMania.
Happy WrestleMania. Corey, it has been a crazy few weeks for everyone. I just have to say, I am so happy to be here having a WrestleMania weekend.
No doubt about it. The entire WWE universe is fired up for what will no doubt be the most unique WrestleMania of all time. And for such a unique situation, Peter, we needed an appropriate host.
That's right. That's right. I mean, listen, when you think parties, of course you think Corey Graves, Peter Rosenberg, but you think the future Hall of Famer, Rob Gronkowski, all right? Rob Gronkowski will be hosting WrestleMania both nights. What's going to happen when Gronk gets a mic in his hands?
Well, WrestleMania will for sure be hype, as Gronk and his pal Mojo like
Big
to
hype
say.
guy.
But let's look beyond that. Let's look at the entire weekend. Look at all the title opportunities at stake. The WWE Championship will be defended. The Universal Championship. The WWE Women's Tag Team titles are on the line. So much to get to. Truly a massive weekend for WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about this. Corey, tell us how we do this. There's so much happening tonight on Night 1.
No doubt. You don't want to miss Night 1. And if you haven't already, head over to WWENetwork.com right now and get this. WrestleMania is free for new subscribers, but we don't want you to be beholden to any one thing. We like to give you options. So this year, you can download the Fox Sports app or head to foxsports.com to get WrestleMania for the first time ever on FITE TV. That's FITE.TV. You can get WrestleMania, or if you're more of a traditionalist like Mr. Rosenberg,
love it.
It's still available on pay-per-view. Just call your local cable or satellite provider. There is so much to get to. Let's talk about tonight, Rosenberg. Night 1. Let's talk about the Boneyard match. For the first time ever, the most prolific performer in WrestleMania history, The Undertaker, goes one-on-one with the phenomenal AJ Styles. I don't know what to expect, so let's expect the unexpected.
And then, of course, the man has been on top of the mountain for a year, but she's in danger tonight as she comes face-to-face with the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, for the Raw Women's Championship.
And the prestigious Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as the new champion, the Great Liberator, Sami Zayn, defends against the leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan.
And it's official, breaking news, Miz is out, but we have a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Kofi Kingston versus John Morrison versus Jimmy Uso. All these men trying to climb that ladder and gain tag team gold.
And the grandest stage of them all will be graced by royalty as King Corbin does his best to dispatch of WWE's troubadour Elias once and for all. You have to wonder, what kind of condition is Elias in after a brutal attack by Corbin several weeks back?
And Asuka has been talking a lot of trash recently, and tonight the champions, the Kabuki Warriors, will defend their women's tag titles against the former champs, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
The Universal title will be decided in a colossal clash between the reigning champion, Goldberg, and the surprise replacement for Roman Reigns, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Two behemoths collide at WrestleMania.
And next, we have a match between two guys who, quite simply, are two of the best in the world. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins face off to settle the score in a rivalry that has become very, very personal.
Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here to celebrate your Monday Night Messiah. I am here to speak your truths.
The Black Hand of Law, accompanied by his disciples, AOP and Murphy.
These men around me are the only ones that give me the respect I deserve. I am here to lead us all into the future. it is time for us to seek out the lesser than, the non-compliant, and eradicate them.
Kevin Owens is all alone.
Kevin became an example. If you stand alone, you will fall. This is the gospel of the Monday Night Messiah.
Oh my God, oh my God! No one cares! No one cares! You think that you're doing everything you can to make this company better.
I can't imagine the frustration Kevin Owens is feeling right now.
All you have accomplished is to turn yourself to a miserable, insufferable prick.
Oh no! Stunner! Owens isn't standing for Rollins and his disciples.
I have never tried to be something I'm not. You just keep talking. You know what I do is just keep fighting.
Kevin's gonna have to learn things the hard way. You have crucified me since day one. Kevin can name the time, he can name the place, because when I get my hands on Kevin Owens, he will be crucified.
Since you issued the challenge, I've been thinking a lot. I have my answer. It's going to happen at WrestleMania.
I don't get it, Kev. You just continue to refuse to fall in line. What's your problem, Kev? You picked WrestleMania, of all places, to try to make an example out of me. Do you know my track record at WrestleMania?
You talked about all those WrestleMania moments. You need to be honest with yourself.
I am your Monday Night Messiah.
You're not a messiah when I beat you. And I take my WrestleMania moment from you.
Failure after failure after failure. In WrestleMania, I become a god.
Now, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, certainly no strangers to one another, but this is a different environment. This is WrestleMania. This is a deeply personal rivalry. Do you see Kevin Owens falling in line as Rollins wants so badly?
No, I don't. That's not who Kevin Owens is. I mean, I'll say this about Seth Rollins. We may talk about KO Mania a lot and the success that Kevin Owens had at WrestleMania. You can't deny what Seth Rollins has done at WrestleMania. The guy has simply been awesome. So let me be clear. KO has his hands full. But no, I'm feeling good about Kevin Owens' chances tonight.
Why? What makes you think Kevin Owens is in a position to knock off the Monday Night Messiah? You said it yourself. Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, I mean, that is big game, bottom of the ninth, walk-off grand slam. That is what Seth Rollins does. Last year, Seth Rollins became Universal Champion by beating Brock Lesnar. You think Kevin Owens has a better chance?
No, listen, I watched WrestleMania last year. I'm aware of what happened. And you may fall in love with this entire Monday Night Messiah thing that he's running with, okay? But I'm not just falling in line. I don't think Kevin Owens is either. And also, let's look at the history, all right? I've seen Kevin Owens wrestle in front of 1,000 people at the Hammerstein Ballroom. This is a guy who has worked his way up and understands the magnitude of this moment. We're talking about a kid from Montreal growing up idolizing Bret the Hitman Hart. This is in this guy's blood, in his DNA. By the way, I don't even like Kevin Owens personally. You're making me defend a guy who frankly annoys me. But he's incredible. And I think tonight is a night for Kevin Owens to step up. I do.
I think tonight should be the night that Seth Rollins solidifies his place in the WWE pantheon as the Monday Night Messiah, and Seth finally gets the credit he so deserves for blazing the trail that so many, including Kevin Owens, have followed to success.
He's a trailblazer. You're going with trailblazer for Seth Rollins?
I absolutely am.
God, I've never seen you this serious about someone before. You are really into the Monday Night Messiah.
I believe in the Monday Night Messiah, and I have no reason not to. Seth Rollins continues his incredible WrestleMania streak tonight, no doubt about it.
All right, well, this is our first disagreement. I'm going Kevin Owens.
Okay, well, you disagree. I'm going to make sure the bills are paid.
Jimmy, your friends are here. You can bring home the thrill of WWE action.
With all your favorite Mattel WWE action figures. Perform their most powerful signature moves.
Or dive into a battle royal.
Change the ring to your favorite WWE events.
Yeah!
Whoa! Choose your side as the action unfolds again
and again and again. WWE ring
and action figures, each sold separately.
You can collect them all.
Your turn.
Got it.
This right here is the new papadilla, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Latin for better than a sandwich. Even has a better pickle. Get a new papadilla for $6. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Peter, we are counting down the minutes, less than an hour now until night one of WrestleMania begins. But we got a lot more to get to right here on the WrestleMania kickoff, including some in-ring action.
I know. I hear we have a match tonight.
A match? I think that's an understatement. Way to undersell the biggest event of the year, Peter Rosenberg.
No.
We're talking about two of the best in-ring technicians in the game.
Well, I'm going to say, if you want to set the tone for WrestleMania on a night that's going to be filled with ridiculous matches, who better to set it off than with who we have coming up?
I cannot wait to see it. That's coming your way real soon. We have got a lot more to dive into head first right here on WrestleMania Kickoff. Speaking of all of the matches, all the events we get to dive into right here, how about the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships being defended as the reigning champions? The Kabuki Warriors defend against former champions Alexa Bliss and her BFF, Nikki Cross. Dare I say, Peter, momentum is on Bliss Cross's side tonight after this. It was 2 weeks ago, Friday Night SmackDown from the WWE Performance Center. Alexa Bliss, arguably the underdog in this matchup against one of the most dominant females to step foot in a WWE ring in quite some time. Peter, Alexa Bliss shocked a lot of people.
See, you said that. You said that earlier when we were talking. I don't see this as an upset. I see Alexa Bliss as a 5-time former women's champion, a former tag champion herself with Nikki Cross. I agree with you on the momentum part, but I'll be honest, I wasn't surprised, and I'm excited for Bliss Cross to have this opportunity tonight. I'm feeling good about it.
Well, we've seen in the past the goddess Alexa Bliss shines brightest when the lights are brightest. The stage doesn't get any bigger in WWE than WrestleMania, a massive opportunity. I'm going to go on the record and say that for the Kabuki Warriors, tonight is a must-win, and not just because the WWE Women's Tag Team titles are on the line. I'm talking about Asuka in particular, who once upon a time was maybe the most feared woman in all of WWE. You put Kairi Sane into the fold, an incredible duo, two hyper-talented women. But the Kabuki Warriors as a cohesive unit or individually haven't exactly been setting the world on fire lately.
Not only that, you have to think about the fact that Asuka just personally kind of might have some trepidation around WrestleMania. Let's not forget, her streak came to an end against Charlotte at WrestleMania. Is that on her mind? Is she in her own head? Because you're not wrong. We know the pride that Kairi Sane and Asuka have in having those women's tag titles. And I think there'd be a lot of personal embarrassment on this grand a stage to lose those titles to Bliss and Cross.
I think tonight, even though they are the reigning champions coming into WrestleMania to defend their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, I would almost say the Kabuki Warriors are in a bit of an underdog situation here. However, when you got a striker that is as lethal as Asuka, someone as technically gifted and sound as Kairi Sane with the insane elbow from the top rope, I think it's just a matter of one strike landing and the Kabuki Warriors can retain.
And I think there's something really scary for Bliss Cross, and that is if the Kabuki Warriors feel like underdogs. Because if they feel like underdogs, then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross could be in trouble.
If the Kabuki Warriors feel like underdogs, we've got the same champions tomorrow that we have right now.
Right.
This match is an absolutely epic battle. Goldberg had prepared for the big dog Roman Reigns. A change of plans finds the monster among men as the challenger to the Universal Championship. Two super heavyweights collide on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. Goldberg, Strowman tonight.
I am thrilled about this matchup, and I know that for a lot of people, the conversation was about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is out. What's going to happen now? To me, this has become a conversation about Braun Strowman. You're talking about a guy who set the world on fire, Corey. When he popped up in WWE, he absolutely took over. But when you look at his WrestleMania history, it's kind of a little bit underwhelming, right? He loses the Andre the Giant Battle Royal once. He wins the tag titles with a kid named Nicholas. And then he did win the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial just a year ago. The Battle Royal a year ago. However, fast forward a year, you go from being in the Battle Royal to Braun Strowman having a chance to win the Universal title. This is an amazing opportunity for the Monster Among Men.
We all know how much it meant to Braun Strowman when he captured his first singles championship, the Intercontinental Championship recently. You know Braun is in a nasty, nasty mood after losing his coveted Intercontinental Championship, and now Braun is thrust into the biggest spot one can find themselves in WWE, Universal Championship. Oh, and by the way, it's against the WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg. So everybody that's counting Goldberg out, forget about it. This is the one guy who knew how to solve the Fiend Bray Wyatt. This is the guy who has beaten Brock Lesnar. Goldberg stopped Hulk Hogan when the NWO was at the height of its power. You're not dealing with some run-of-the-mill guy. You're dealing with Goldberg.
I hear you, but that was a long time ago, and tonight ends with Braun Strowman as the Universal champion.
We're going to have to wait and see how that all plays out. I certainly can't wait. It's going to be
hard. Are we disagreeing again, though? Are you going Goldberg?
I can't. This one's too close to call. This is a pick 'em.
I feel you're going. Okay, I feel strongly about Strowman.
Oh, I like that. How do you feel about the SmackDown Tag Team Championship picture, Peter?
I feel very, very strongly about it. And let me tell you, it is going to be incredibly interesting because The Miz is out, but we still have a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, and Jimmy Uso all trying to climb that ladder and keep those titles.
The winner of that matchup, of course, procuring the SmackDown Tag Team Championships for their respective teams. And the reigning champions, Peter, have absolutely no reason to doubt their luck at WrestleMania.
MCMIZ, Johnny Drip Drip. A lot of haters out there putting us on blast. When it's time to go, we roll like Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Those turd cutters in the ring, we about to serve them. First up, we're trying to determine
why you pandering clowns always scream the same sermon. You're not a new day, you're new version of Pee Wee Herman. We chose this business.
I came back with a purpose.
Without Daddy's cosign, the Usos would be worthless.
How many spoons it take to make a dynasty in the doo-doo?
It only takes you two. Here we go. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, come on. Ho, ho, let's go. Hey. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Yeah, you know Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Here we go. Nice tights, New Day. Tell Woods to thank his mama.
But how you gonna beat us wearing cosplay pajamas?
Y'all Daniel Bryan's
the B-plus player.
He's the A-lister.
He's the Slamtown mayor.
Kofi's famous for hootin' woo like a jerk.
The Usos are famous cause their dad used to twerk.
We're known for stealing every show that we've been in.
We're Miz and Morrison. We're famous for winning. That's why we're the champs.
Yeah, son. Yeah.
Miz and Morrison. Come on. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, let's go. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Yeah, you know Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. All right, Johnny. Break them off something deep.
Broke it all and parkour to the top floor ahead of you.
Be jealous. I got a reality show instead of you.
Right. Hey, New Day, keep playing your video games in tweet mode.
In real life, you couldn't beat us with that cheat code.
Nope. You unicorn loving and you cheesy thug and dumb geeks.
None of y'all would be even top guys on Sesame Street.
So Oos, enjoy the hooch in your stupid penitentiary.
We are the greatest tag team of the 21st century. In life, there are winners and losers. Be jealous. Miz and Morrison. Yeah. Hey, hey, come on. Ho, ho, let's go. Miz and Morrison.
Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey.
Can you stop? What? That was awful. I'm literally offended as a hip-hop fan.
What do you know about hip-hop, Rosenberg?
That was horrifying. Whose idea was that? I need to talk to The Miz. Was that his idea?
That was hot fire being spit right before your very eyes. That was a gift to your eardrums, Rosenberg.
That was so bad. Morrison may be happy to be alone tonight. That was literally painful, dude.
Have you ever been to Slam Town, Rosenberg?
Where is Slam?
You want to take a trip? Keep running your mouth. You're talking about the greatest tag team of the generation, of the 21st century, Miz and Morrison. And you changed the setting of the situation. You've got a triple threat ladder match now. No longer tag team partners at their side. However, you've got to give the edge to either Kofi Kingston or John Morrison. As brash as Miz and Morrison may be, you talk about John Morrison's parkour style all the time.
Yeah.
You throw a ladder into the environment. Few people can adapt and succeed like John Morrison in this situation.
And listen, I hate to say it, but you're not wrong there. I mean, this is a spot that John Morrison is very comfortable in. We have seen him in ladder matches before. We know what he's capable of. We've seen him in tag ladder matches before. The guy has done it all. So I will say, I see Kofi Kingston or John Morrison coming out of this. But by the way, we shouldn't sleep on Jimmy Uso.
No, absolutely not.
And anytime we see an Uso and a member of the New Day get together, let's not forget, magic. There's a chance this steals the whole weekend.
I agree with you, and you can't discount the fact that 1 year ago at WrestleMania was the culmination of Kofi Kingston's career when he became WWE champion. You know Kofi would love to capture that glory once more.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about how much a year can make a difference in someone's career, but either way, tonight, title's on the line.
We have so much more to get to on the WrestleMania Night 1 kickoff show, including in-ring action coming your way. But the WrestleMania kickoff show is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Order now on the app or at papajohns.com, and in part by Mattel's Elite Collection action figures. Make your collection elite. Rosenberg, I know you got the whole collection. I know you've got a lot to be excited about this WrestleMania.
Oh my God, there is so much to be excited about when you think about WrestleMania this year. For me personally, I'm thinking about Goldberg. I'm thinking about Braun Strowman. So much more to do on the kickoff show.
The yes movement's behind him. Yeah, but can the yes movement will him to another miracle? There's no fear in Daniel Bryan. We know that. And Daniel Bryan trying to come out of the gates early. Top rope, double missile drop kick. Randy Orton and Batista are working together. Batista up to the announce table. This doesn't end well. Batista bomb into an RKO. Oh my God! Daniel Bryan will not get up from this. Daniel Bryan has come this far. He's not going to go away. Daniel Bryan needed Batista. Yes, lock. He did it. Daniel Bryan did it. A miracle on Bourbon Street.
Tonight at WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan looks to recapture a little bit of the Yeselmania magic that led to the moment we just experienced once again. But a tall order stands in front of Daniel in the form of the reigning champion, the great liberator, Sami Zayn. And Peter, of course, you know when Sami Zayn's involved, you've got to factor Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro into the equation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was doing the Elimination Chamber kickoff show when Sami Zayn had an opportunity to win that Intercontinental Championship, which he ended up doing. And he was sort of the guy people were sleeping on. But you cannot forget how cerebral Sami Zayn is. And I think there are a lot of people who think when they look at this match on paper, they just go, oh, Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania, he's going to beat Sami Zayn. Not so fast. Sami Zayn is thoughtful, he's pensive, and he's willing to do absolutely anything.
I like the word cagey when it pertains to Sami Zayn. And yes, Sami can be brash, Sami can be abrasive to some people who
obnoxious.
Have an aversion to truth. I mean, but let's be honest, Sami Zayn, an incredible in-ring technician, as is Daniel Bryan. And these two, while you look across the card, the environment that WrestleMania is taking place in this year, different than most have experienced.
I'll say, yeah.
However, we know it's no secret the long history that Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn both spent on the independent circuit,
Correct.
traveling around the world, where maybe you don't always have a crowd to feed off of. This isn't necessarily that different of an environment. These are two world-class technicians with no distractions, potentially no interference. Thankfully, you've got Gulak and Cesaro kind of standing off with one another, and Nakamura. I think we may get one of the best pure technical wrestling matches we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I think this is another dream match if you're a true wrestling fan. We talked about it with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, and I'm talking about it again right here with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. Like, if you're just a fan of the art form, all right, this is a blank canvas. You know, literally sort of a blank canvas for Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn to paint on. And you talked about it. These are guys who have wrestled in front of 50 people before. This is kind of
less.
old hat, and less, right? This is old hat for them. So this is one of those matches that I'm really excited to see what these two artists in this business do tonight.
Well, you keep saying artists, and I see what you're trying to do with Daniel Bryan, but when you're talking about artists, you've got to talk about Shinsuke Nakamura, the former Intercontinental Champion. You've got to talk about the artist collective of Cesaro, Nakamura, and Sami Zayn. I don't see any outcome tonight that does not end with Sami Zayn proudly clutching his Intercontinental Championship and leaving WrestleMania.
Well, let's not forget that the reason we're here tonight is because Drew Gulak was able to knock off the artist Shinsuke Nakamura. So you have Gulak out there to potentially even things up with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura.
It actually adds a little bit more weight to what Drew Gulak has going for him tonight, right here on the WrestleMania Kickoff Show.
Right.
Drew Gulak and the Swiss Superman Cesaro one-on-one here on the WrestleMania Kickoff Show to kick off the entire weekend. It's going to be big. We want to send a special thank you to The Weeknd for Blinding Lights. It's the official theme of WrestleMania. It's from the album After Hours. You can get it right now on iTunes, on Spotify, or wherever you get your music.
Yeah, shout out The Weeknd, by the way. The Weeknd's been absolutely killing it. This song is blowing up the charts. The album is crushing. The album cover is slightly terrifying and reminds me of Shayna Baszler. Shout out to The Weeknd, indeed.
We'll talk more about Shayna Baszler later on, but right now it is time for in-ring action right here on the WrestleMania Kickoff Show, Night 1. Let's throw it on down to my guy, Michael Cole.
Welcome, everybody, to the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, in the first match of WrestleMania weekend.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 203 pounds, Drew Gulak.
And Drew Gulak has had a huge part to play in WrestleMania weekend for his friend Daniel Bryan. We will get into that story throughout this matchup here tonight because it all began last month at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event where Gulak and Daniel Bryan had a mat-based classic. Daniel Bryan gaining so much respect for Drew Gulak that they formed this great bond and friendship. Gulak tonight kicks off WrestleMania weekend.
And here's a opponent from Lucerne, Switzerland, weighing in at 232 pounds, Cesaro!
So for the Swiss Superman, Cesaro, tonight is really about setting the tone and about gaining some revenge on Gulak. A couple of weeks ago, Drew Gulak defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in a one-on-one matchup, which allowed Daniel Bryan to have the opportunity against Sami Zayn later on tonight for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Cesaro, of course, part of this group known as the Artist Collective with Nakamura and Zayn. And tonight, Cesaro looks to right the wrong and take out Drew Gulak here as part of the WrestleMania Kickoff Show. And this matchup tonight between Cesaro and Gulak should be a classic. Two of the best sports entertainers in the world today, Gulak and Cesaro, will clash. And it's going to be interesting to see what the strategy will be from both of these men here tonight. Gulak, a submission specialist. The power of Cesaro could come into play, and immediately Gulak goes for the arm and wrestles Cesaro down to the mat. Great strategy by Gulak early on. Into the corner, and a big boot by Gulak catches Cesaro in the face. And there now is the power of Cesaro. Knee to the spine, cover, hook of the leg on Gulak, and a kick out at 2. And quickly, Cesaro going for the win, trying for the Gotch neutralizer. Gulak able to counter, and again, into the armbar, taking Cesaro down in the center of the ring. Cesaro, so much of his game based on his power. And if Gulak can take out the arm of Cesaro, he will neutralize the power of the Swiss Superman. And right now, Gulak putting on an absolute clinic, but Cesaro with the power again. And that's just another example of what Cesaro is capable of. Again, for Cesaro tonight, an opportunity to set the tone because his buddy, Sami Zayn, will defend the Intercontinental Championship a bit later on at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan. And again, Cesaro goes for the neutralizer. Another great counter, this time into a crossface by Gulak. And Gulak, every step of the way, has had an answer, has had a counter for Cesaro, and Cesaro makes it to the ropes to force the break. Much of what we've seen out of Gulak tonight, very reminiscent of his match against Daniel Bryan back in the Elimination Chamber, where he had a counter for everything Bryan did, and now Cesaro dumped over the top rope by Gulak, and Gulak suddenly has taken command. And this is one thing about Drew. He'll take the fight. See there off the apron. Big flying clothesline, and down goes Cesaro. And again, you see Cesaro trying to get some life back into the injured right arm. Blocked, big right hand, and Gulak is stunned by Cesaro. But again, the right arm of Cesaro really hurting here. And now again, hanging Cesaro up on the top rope. And Gulak continues to focus on the arm of Cesaro as he clears Cesaro now out on the other side of the ring. And Gulak is fired up here tonight as part of the WrestleMania kickoff show. What is Gulak going to do? Gulak now off the apron, caught by Cesaro, but Gulak turns it into an arm drag on the bad arm once again of Cesaro. And now driving Cesaro shoulder first into the steel steps. This has been a perfect game plan by Gulak so far here tonight. And again, into the steps on the other side. The impact to the shoulder of Cesaro. And now Gulak looking to climb up to the top rope. Cesaro in trouble. Gulak does not fly often. But, oh, caught with an uppercut. And that may cost Drew Gulak. Cesaro will literally fall into the cover, hook to the leg now on Gulak, and a kick out at two, turns it around into his own cover, and Cesaro's got a kick out, and now once again, working on the injured arm of Cesaro. Submission move in effect here by Gulak. Cesaro, is he gonna tap out, or can he make it to the bottom rope to force a break? Look at the position of Cesaro's arm, and Cesaro now back to a vertical base. And some well-placed knees to the chest in the midsection of Gulak. Sends him across the ring. Gulak rolls through. Shoulders down. Great move by Gulak. Cesaro's got a kick out at two. And Gulak now looking for the Dragon Sleeper. The Gulak, but Cesaro able to counter with his power. And a big boot to the face. And Gulak right now has no idea where he is. And for Cesaro, perhaps an opportunity to put Gulak away, looking for the neutralizer again. Not able to use the bad arm, though. Gulak almost knocked the official over. And Cesaro with an uppercut. And now Cesaro looking to improvise. Gulak up on his shoulders. What's Cesaro going to do? Airplane spin by Cesaro. Gulak is down, cover by Cesaro. Hook of the leg, and Cesaro wins the first match of WrestleMania weekend.
Here is your winner, Cesaro!
What a win by Cesaro here tonight. That took some guts and perseverance over a very game Gulak. The story of the match, the injured right arm of Cesaro, right there, not able to deliver the neutralizer. What would Cesaro do? He would improvise. First the uppercut, and then using his power, would turn it into an airplane spin where he didn't use any hands or any arms, delivering the cover and the win here tonight. And the question is this a harbinger of things to come later on? Will Cesaro's buddy Sami Zayn knock off Gulak's buddy Daniel Bryan with the Intercontinental title on the line at WrestleMania?
Pete, come on, man. What? We said pantyhose, right? Here, eat this. Creamy Snickers. You could use a little smoothness.
Pete? Pete Zagarine? Oh, that's Peter. I taught him social studies. Peter, what are you
Not
doing
Peter
over
Zagarine.
there?
Get smooth with the fresh ground nut butters and creamy Snickers.
I wish I could buy a new truck.
Experience. Experience.
Experian. Now you can raise your credit scores instantly with Experian Boost. Free only at Experian.com/boost.
Hey Becky, you know what my favorite part of the new NetSpend prepaid card is?
Your paycheck is available up to 2 days faster with direct deposit.
Nope.
It's accepted everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted.
I like that, but even better.
No credit check required, no cost to activate, no interest payment because it's not a credit card.
Even better. It's because I'm on it. And NetSpend got my good side. Looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like looking into a mirror.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's on me. Like, yeah, I got this. Like, because I'm on the card. You get it? It's on me, this guy right here.
Yeah, I get it.
Man, this guy, this
I get it.
Order now at netspendwwe.com.
As WrestleMania rapidly approaches, big win for Cesaro. Sami Zayn has got to be feeling good about that one, Peter.
Yeah, big moment for the Artist Collective, not a great moment for Bryan and Gulak, and you wonder whether Daniel Bryan, if that affects him in a negative way, preparing for his match later in the night.
We will find out, and make sure you find out, because if you haven't already, head over to WWENetwork.com. WrestleMania is free for new subscribers, or you can get WrestleMania on the Fox Sports app, or at foxsports.com, or the Fight TV app, or traditional pay-per-view. So just call your local pay-per-view provider or satellite provider, wherever you are. You don't want to miss Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. But what about all the things that are happening tomorrow night, Peter?
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned tomorrow night because it is going down. The challenge has been accepted. John Cena will meet The Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match.
And the celebrated return to WWE of Hall of Famer Edge was spoiled by the Viper Randy Orton. These two WWE legends collide in a last man standing match at WrestleMania.
And you want to talk personal? This is personal. Otis has been waiting to get his hands on Dolph Ziggler, and tomorrow night, Otis is going to get his chance.
And from the Monday Night Raw side of things, the question will be answered. Can Bobby Lashley reassert dominance over the Red Brand? Or will Lashley's WrestleMania fade to black as he collides with the sinister Aleister Black?
Then, of course, we have the Fatal Five-Way for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's the champion, Bayley, defending against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Tamina, and her best pal, Sasha Banks.
And we're going to double up on women's championship matches tomorrow night as NXT Women's Champion. The brutality of Rhea Ripley will be on display as she steps in the ring with the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
And the Raw Tag Team Championship on the line. You have the champs, the Street Profits, defending against Austin Theory and Angel Garza. And oh yeah, keep your eye on Zelina Vega.
And it all takes place tomorrow night, night 2, which will be capped off with what could be the culmination of Drew McIntyre's career after winning the Men's Royal Rumble match this year. Drew McIntyre will challenge the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, for the WWE Championship. You know what else I'm excited about, Peter?
Yeah, go ahead.
We talk about Gronk being the host of WrestleMania, but it wouldn't be WrestleMania without the King of the Ring. Of course, I'm referring to King Corbin.
I think you're the only disciple King Corbin has.
I choose to use the term friend, Peter, and I look forward to watching King Corbin dismantle whatever's left of Elias as they do battle at WrestleMania.
You're more like Tyrion Lannister. You're like hand to the king.
I'll take it. I'll be the hand of the king. I'm curious to watch King Corbin in action, and our Kayla Braxton caught up with the royalty.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining me now, King Corbin. King Corbin, tonight on the first night of WrestleMania, you were scheduled to go one-on-one with Elias, but that match has now been put into question after what you did 2 weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's take a look.
And to the capacity crowd here at the Performance Center, I just want to say thank you.
You want to embarrass me, huh? Oh, fun and games, huh? Fun and games. Yeah, come on. Yeah!
Elias, you okay? Come on, man. Elias, talk to us. Hey, talk to us.
Get some help over here. Get some help over here.
Talk to me, Elias. Do not move.
Just stay here. Stay right here. I'm right here. Stay right here.
Any questions?
Well, do you have any remorse for your actions?
Remorse? I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I am sorry that I didn't take a road case and throw it over there on top of Elias as well. I mean, it is WrestleMania season and anything goes. And, well, you know what? I am a man of tradition, and last year at WrestleMania, I ended Kurt Angle's career. And this year, it's the same for Elias. Matter of fact, I'll take my victory by forfeit, and I even wrote a song to celebrate. I am royalty and you can call me the king. I ended Elias and he can no longer sing. It is WrestleMania and my kingdom cannot be stopped. And for Elias tonight, his song has stopped.
Let me guess, Corey, you loved King Corbin singing as well.
I closed my eyes, and for a second, I thought it was John Popper. It was that good. It was incredible, and the incredible weekend for King Corbin will continue. Last year, you heard him mention it, put an end to Kurt Angle's career. Tonight, King Corbin is going to end whatever's left of Elias, whatever Elias can drag to the ring.
Yeah, I don't know about that, all right? I don't think he's going to have a moment, but there are going to be lots of moments tonight on WrestleMania.
This is what it's all about, the main event of WrestleMania. The top superstars in all of WWE with both championships on the line. First fall, winner take all.
Queen stepping up the game here.
Ronda Rousey could end this entire matchup in short order.
This is Becky's moment. If she doesn't seize the opportunity tonight,
Exploder from the top rope.
Man is now the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. The end.
Tonight will indeed be known as WrestleMania.
Hard to believe that was a year ago when the man took the title, and it's been an incredible year on top for Becky Lynch.
Very, very impressive. We're going to take a deeper look at Becky Lynch's WrestleMania match because our challenger this year, unlike any she's faced in the past, I'm talking about the former cage fighter turned WWE superstar, Shayna Baszler. Luckily, we've got our crew from WWE Backstage standing by. We're going to let Booker, Renee, and Mark Henry break down the Raw Women's Championship match. But before we get there, Peter, let's pay a few bills, shall we?
We shall.
Rated M for mature.
Well, this is not going to be good for me. Oh, Batista falls! The animal is unleashed. Batista falls. Batista's calling for it.
Growing up, I never thought I'd be on this side of the counter. As an actual store owner and board member, now I want to bring that Papa Love to the community. Better ingredients, better pizza, better day.
It has been a glorious year for Becky Lynch, but it could all come crashing down tonight when she meets the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. And so far, their relationship has been rocky, to say the least.
name is Becky Lynch.
The longest reigning Raw Women's Champion in history.
I really am in a whole different league than the rest of them dopes. When you're the man, you make history every time you step foot in this ring. I have called every shot. Look up and down my record. I am the champion who has beaten them all. I'm the best, and there is not a woman on this roster that can tell me different.
Oh my God! Shayna Baszler!
Hello, Becky. I'm Shayna.
Merciless! Lawless! Sadistic! Known for putting her opponents on the shelf! Shayna Baszler!
The former NXT Women's Champion attacking Becky Lynch from behind! Oh my God! What in the world? Shayna Baszler, he's biting Becky Lynch!
Becky.
I'm fine.
I'm in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The winner of that match gets to face you at WrestleMania. The Elimination Chamber match is held in a cage. You know where I came from? I'm a cage fighter. I'm going to chew through every other competitor in that cage.
This Elimination Chamber is owned by Shayna Baszler. Baszler has single-handedly wiped out every other superstar in this match. Oh my God! That is absolutely brutal! Shayna Baszler's going to WrestleMania!
When I take that title, it will destroy Becky Lynch. What Becky Lynch can expect at WrestleMania is to lose.
Remember? You want to put your hands on the man. You want to sink your little rat's teeth into my flesh. Do I look like prey to you? I do believe in my bones that you are underestimating me. Normal people like me don't beat trained killers like you. Except I do.
Disorder!
I did.
Becky Lynch is the champion!
And I will again.
Oh my God! Oh my God! It's Shayna Baszler!
Becky, at WrestleMania, I am going to take the Raw Women's Championship, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
I mean, you alluded to it earlier. She's a trained cage fighter. That's what Shayna Baszler comes from. But that moment when she showed up on Raw and attacked Becky might have been the scariest moment all year on Monday Night Raw.
I think a lot of people would agree with you, Peter, myself included. But let's get some other opinions in the party. It's WrestleMania weekend, guys. I want to send it over right now to break Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler down with our crew from WWE Backstage.
We're really excited to be joining you guys on the WrestleMania kickoff show here on FS1. Now, I'm not here alone. Of course, I've got some Hall of Famers with me, Booker T and Mark Henry. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you.
What's going on? One of the most anticipated matchups of this weekend, Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship match. Now, Booker, this question's coming to you. Given the circumstances of this year's WrestleMania, no audience to maybe rattle the nerves, maybe a little less of the glitz and glamour, do you think that that's going to work in favor of Shayna Baszler?
You know, I actually think it will, just because, you know, that first time at WrestleMania being in front of, 60, 70, 80,000 people, that right there can definitely make you lose your cool. Shayna Baszler, she's all about going out there and just whooping a little ass. And in an empty arena, I think this is quite fitting for Shayna.
Mark, what do you think about that? You agree with Booker on that one?
Well, I mean, I can't never completely agree with Booker T.
Okay.
What I think is going to happen is Becky is aggressive, and she cannot fall into the trap of coming at Shayna Baszler like she does everybody else. She's going to have to use strategy. She's going to have to use her endurance, and she's going to have to use some tricks of the trade. And if she don't, then we'll see a new champion.
Dang. All right, so what else does Becky Lynch need to do here to be successful? I mean, she has been at the absolute top of the women's division for a year plus. Do you think that this could be the end of the streak of the man?
You know, me personally, I think Becky just needs to keep doing what she's been doing ever since she claimed that moniker, the man. And that's just going out there and showing up and showing out in the middle of that ring. She's not going to have a better opportunity than this weekend at WrestleMania.
All right, guys, final predictions. Who's going to be walking away Raw Women's Champ? Book, who you got?
You know what? I'm going to go with Becky, man. I'm going to go with Becky.
Mark?
I'm going Shayna. I think Shayna is the one that's ready for this moment, and she's going to give all she can handle.
Well, we're all waiting in anticipation to see what's going to happen with this matchup. Guys, thanks so much for having us. You can catch, of course, WrestleMania available on the WWE Network tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and for the first time ever available on the Fox Sports app. And don't forget, you guys can catch us on Backstage, wrapping up all things WrestleMania, and of course, the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania this Tuesday on FS1 at 11 p.m. Eastern with Backstage. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gravy, I'm with my dear friend Mark Henry. I think Shayna Baszler did not show up to not win the championship.
Time will certainly tell, and we don't have much longer to wait, but we're going to be right here. Don't go anywhere. A lot more to come on the WrestleMania kickoff.
This Tuesday night on FS1, it's all WWE all night with back-to-back-to-back episodes of WWE's original documentary series, WWE 24. Get an in-depth look at what really happened behind the scenes at 3 iconic WrestleManias. Cap it off with Booker T and Renee Young live on WWE Backstage. Starts this Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, only on FS1.
Peter, we are moments away from night one of the WrestleMania that was too big for just one night. It's still exciting for me. I'm still a fan at the end of the day. Every year of my life, I look forward to WrestleMania. This year, going to be truly unique, unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest about it. This is going to be one we never forget. This is not like any Mania we've ever seen before. WrestleMania 9 in Vegas, outdoors, was crazy, right? 10 at the Garden, 93,000 at WrestleMania 3, but this one's going to be unique. I've talked to so many people who are having Zoom parties tonight with all their friends to watch WrestleMania. This is just going to be a special, special weekend.
No doubt about it. Do you have friends that you can Zoom party with?
No, it's just me, and I'm in one room, and my dog Bear is on Zoom in another room.
Oh, good. Well, at least you're not lonely when you're watching WrestleMania.
Well, tell me, Chris, your favorite WrestleMania of all time. Do you have one?
Oof, it's so hard to pick an entire WrestleMania. I have moments, I have matches. I always think about Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 7, the career-threatening match, and Miss Elizabeth. God, I get all excited every time I talk about it. I guarantee we're going to have some moments that are as memorable, if not more, tonight, because whatever you've known about WrestleMania in the past, take those rules, throw them out the window. It's a whole different ballgame tonight.
Yeah, I'm so curious to find out who steals the show this weekend. Right now, we're all thinking about how different this WrestleMania weekend is going to be. 2 nights, for God's sake. But my question is, down the road, what is going to be the match? What is going to be the moment that we look back on and talk about forever?
Could it be tonight? Could it be tomorrow night? 2 nights of WrestleMania. This is like a dream come true. All these years, I've been thinking, man, what would be better than 1 night of WrestleMania?
Wait for it. 2 nights of WrestleMania.
I wish there was somewhere I could get like a T-shirt to commemorate this or something.
Or a sweatshirt, yeah.
I'm up before the sun come. I'm one of the greatest. I'm a one-of-one. I take the hard route like the chosen one. I'm all in it. No ending to this energy, it's infinite. Yeah, I put it on the line for the life of me. The victory is mine, no losing streak. Like my energy. My energy. I'm on a different level like my energy. My energy. I'm on a different level like my energy.
Tonight only, buy 1 t-shirt and get 1 for $1 and save up to 50% off championship titles. Only at WWEshop.com.
We are counting down the moments as we barrel toward WrestleMania here on the WrestleMania Kickoff Show, which is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Order now on the app or at papajohns.com.
And I'll tell you what, I'm excited for this one. Two of the best in the world, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Tonight they meet, and this one is personal.
And the Intercontinental Championship is on the line as Daniel Bryan challenges new champion Sami Zayn at WrestleMania.
And of course, at this point, you've heard the news. The Miz is out, but guess what? The SmackDown Tag Team Championship is on the line. Kofi Kingston versus John Morrison versus Jimmy Uso for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
And an already announced massive change to the Universal Championship matchup. Goldberg will now defend against the monster among men, Braun Strowman.
And this may be the most brutal match of the night, the Raw Women's Championship. This is big. Becky Lynch, the man's been on top for a year, but tonight, her toughest test, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler.
And the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships will also be up for grabs as the reigning champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, defend their titles against the Goddess, Alexa Bliss, and her best friend, Nikki Cross.
And of course, this one's uncertain after King Corbin's brutal attack. Will it even go down? Elias versus King Corbin.
And one superstar looks to defend his legacy while his opponent looks to carve one. The most prolific competitor in WWE history at WrestleMania, The Undertaker, goes one-on-one with the phenomenal AJ Styles in a boneyard match.
I gotta ask you, I mean, we literally have heard confusion between Undertaker and AJ Styles themselves. Corey, what are we getting from a boneyard match tonight?
I have no idea. We've learned from history to always expect the unexpected. I am sure that tonight is no different. It sounds like it would favor the dead man, The Undertaker, but Peter, I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever seen a competitor get in the mind of the dead man the way that AJ Styles has in recent weeks.
You know, we were talking about this earlier, and I disagreed at first. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? This is The Undertaker. This is WrestleMania. AJ Styles does not stand a chance. But then I was thinking about it a bit more. You're right. Who has brought up The Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool? Who has ever been this personal? This is different. And let's not forget, AJ Styles has help as well.
No doubt about it. AJ is in the mind of The Undertaker. Can the dead man overcome the mind games of the Phenomenal One? Or will AJ be on the losing end of the stick tonight?
Yeah, and of course, listen, we know The Undertaker's record at WrestleMania is incredible. And those who have gotten him, you're talking about all-time greats who have been able to get to The Undertaker. So for AJ Styles, think about what it would mean for his career if he got to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. This would be, listen, AJ's had a Hall of Fame career already. First ballot Hall of Famer. AJ may be the best in the world right now. But think about what that would mean to beat Undertaker.
What it would mean is that AJ Styles would be able to breathe the same rarefied air as a WWE champion, Brock Lesnar, as Roman Reigns. Something very, very few can lay claim to here in WWE. And you do not want to miss a moment of WrestleMania, which is too big for just one night. So right now, if you haven't already, head to WWENetwork.com, sign up. WrestleMania is free for new subscribers, or you can catch it on the Fox Sports app or foxsports.com. For the first time ever, WrestleMania is on Fight TV or pay-per-view, so call your local cable or satellite providers. This has been a WrestleMania kickoff show delivered by Papa John's. Get ready. WrestleMania starts now.